Hello and welcome to Ask Me About K-Pop, the essential guide for recent converts and seasoned fans alike. My name is Shannon.
And I'm Angelica.
And welcome to summer 2021.
Woohoo!
It's summer again. Can you believe it?
And we might be able to go outside this year.
Hey! So in celebration of that, of a potential real summer, we thought it would be fun to take a small look back at the last 5 summers of K-pop, just to give us a small window to look at. And we found like a sampling of songs that came out during the summer, which I decided needed to come out between mid-May and mid-August. Like that's when you need to put your summer songs out if they are going to be enjoyed in the summer. Because if it comes out too late in August, summer's over.
It's a fall
Miss
song
the window.
now.
And too early, it's just spring. So that was how I decided.
Yes, I think that's a good timeline.
Yeah, and we'll just take a look at these songs and see if we can find any trends that were happening that summer and just reminisce about K-pop summers of the past. And then we'll take a look at like what might be in store for 2021 and,
Perhaps make some either predictions or some wishes of things that we'd like to see. And all of the songs that we picked were top charting songs. So that was kind of the only criteria that we looked at. We tried not to just go off of things we remembered from that summer, but we looked at different rankings and we tried to pull like recognizable names that had either like number ones or like top 10 singles. So
yeah, songs that were popular enough or stuck around in the zeitgeist and are like remembered to this day. Yes. But definitely as it goes on, the Korean public becomes less interested in K-pop summer music as the time went on. So I had to start expanding, like, because at first I was just going off of like Melon charts and it was really easy. And then there was just no K-pop on the charts. So I had to go. So then we had to look otherwise.
Yeah, so I filled those lists out with Gown weekly number ones from the time period that you laid out.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get into it. We have a lot of music to talk about and remember. So we're first going to start with summer 2015.
And these songs are not necessarily listed in chronological order, right?
They're mostly in chronological order, but I didn't write dates down. But in mostly chronological order.
For the record, they may or may not be in chronological order.
But for the most part, summer 2015, we are looking at BTS, Dope, Shiny, View, Big Bang's Bang Bang Bang, EXO, Love Me Right, Sistar, Shake It, AOA, Heart Attack, GOT7, Just Right, Super Junior, Devil, A-Pink, Remember, G-Friend, Me Gustas Too, Wonder Girls, I Feel You, Girls' Generation, Party, and Hyuna, Roll Deep.
Remember that summer, y'all?
Yeah, I surely do. I surely do.
Who could forget Shiny View?
Who could? But I do think when looking at this, I feel like the biggest thing to note of this summer was that this was Big Bang's summer. Because this summer they released 4 albums that was called the Made series. So they were titled M, A, D, and E. But album A is the one that contained Bang Bang Bang, which I felt like was the one we needed on the list because even though like those albums have like Zutter and Bebe and Loser and like all these other things, I feel like Bang 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 is one of those once in a millennium K-pop songs that just will never go away.
And I think you could argue that this is the Big Bang song, right?
Sure.
Like when you think of Big Bang, like everybody goes bang, bang, bang. Like it just goes hand in hand. I had not watched this music video in so long. I like didn't even remember it, but shout out to Top pushing his cowboy agenda all the way back in 2015.
I noticed that. I was like, wow, he was really ahead of the time.
Yeah. Also his like Marge Simpson hats that like went up so tall. I couldn't even believe that they were hats. Go ahead.
I was going to say, also, speaking of maybe ahead of its time, one of the things on this list that felt super ahead of its time to me was the Wonder Girls'
Yes.
I Feel You comeback.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it was generally popular-ish in Korea, but like, I don't know. I feel like it should have been bigger, or if it came out now, people would like just pee their pants over it.
Yes.
Because it's like 80s vaporware, like high-waisted bathing suits and girls with instruments. Like it's so like this moment that 2021 is trying to capture. It's really amazing.
Yes, absolutely. It has that like neon 80s synth with, yeah, like you said, these like great 80s Barbie one pieces and like the keytar, and it's really great, and they're so straight faced the whole time. I felt like the Wonder Girls releases on our lists were both, I felt like, so just like one of a kind, and like what a great couple years for the Wonder Girls. Definitely underappreciated in their time. But they also really stood out. I thought like there was nothing else that came out this summer that was like the Wonder Girls in any way. They were so unique. But I did hear a lot of really big horns in this list of songs. And it was either like really big horns or like we're getting kind of loud like EDM. Right. Those were like the two sides of the spectrum. And I also, because I was just looking for things that like patterns, trends,
we were trying
to
make connections.
One of them I wrote Girls on Leashes because
Hyuna has Girls on Leashes,
and Big Bang does too. In Bang Bang Bang, GD has a girl on a leash, which I initially wrote down as like problematic, and then when Hyuna had it too, I was like, trend.
Hey.
But yeah, there's a lot of really, really bright colors this summer. Like so that sort of Target commercial, color palette with a couple of different music videos that had like animations, like comic book style animations. AOA and Sistar, I remember, both had those. And the other main thread I saw through the music videos was that there were a lot of music videos set at a high school, whether we were dancing on a field or in the gym or in the classroom, whether it was like really realistic or super, super like set, looking like a set. There was a high school in like 90% of these videos.
I also thought it was very interesting that the sports that were featured were like not common Korean sports, because EXO was playing American football. Sistar, Shonu and Wano are playing hockey. And in the AOA video, it's lacrosse.
Yeah. And I also noticed that in the AOA video, first of all, the sports teams at that school don't make any sense because they go to school with the opposing team. And also it's girls versus boys, but only the boys wear helmets.
Okay. Only their brains are important, I guess. Jeez.
And also, the boys are wearing the same uniforms that the Baby Monsta X's are wearing in Sistar's Shake It. So maybe it was a visiting team.
Perhaps. Yeah, that's very interesting. Yeah, the color schemes of this whole era, because I noticed by the years that the music video palettes started to like they seem to follow patterns in the years, like trends. And this one was like turn the saturation all the way up, and there was a lot of like true green, like plants and like nature greens, and like every single color. And as we'll get into other years, like the color palettes become very limited, and in this year it's like every single color and like outdoors and very bright,
and throw it at the wall, whatever sticks.
Yes.
I also, because we are SM stans, like tried to pay attention to what SM decided to do every summer. Mostly because like we've talked about it, at least in the more recent years, like sometimes they have a really cohesive sound to the releases that come out. And this year in 2015, I didn't really think that they had a cohesive sound. I mean, every song that came out of SM this summer was very popular, and I think like to this day like stands the test of time. Like they're still very good songs, but they all had really different styles. So not so much of a company summer this time.
For sure, because View is like a watery sound that we'll see in the next summer. Like that's the one that I think SM decided stuck because they take it next year. And then Love Me Right is just like dance party fun.
Big horns.
Devil is period piece. Like it's a totally different vibe.
Yeah, because Love Me Right and Devil both have big horns in them, but even they have very different big horns, right? Like Love Me Right feels like more of a like disco breakdown, and then Devil is more like big band or like swing or something. But yeah, same instrument but very different sound. And then Party is just like a classic K-pop Girls' Generation song. I felt like that was the blueprint for a lot of girl group summer music videos we see later on
going forward.
Like the that like beach neutral of having like denim and white with like bright colored hair or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, for sure. And we didn't put it in the main list because it wasn't popular, but another SM release that summer before TVXQ went to the military, they released an album and the two main singles were solos from each of them. And Changmin's is a ballad and Yuno's is a disco song called Champagne, and it's very fun.
I love Champagne. It's that sweet cheesy XQ. Cheesy VXQ.
Yes, cheesy
XQ. Cheesy
yes,
XQ?
Cheesy XQ. That's what it is. Anything else to say about 2015?
I don't think so.
I was going to ask for each summer, like just potentially, just for something fun. What would you say is the most important, or like to you is the song of this summer, and which is the song that we think is the summeriest, like in a stereotypical summer way?
Okay, I think my answer to both questions is actually the same song because I think it's View. I think View for me is the most important because we've talked about View in being like important for SHINee, but also I think it is the most summery in the sense that it is like, it is very watery, and the music video is like going to, like going on a vacation and like having fun and like drinking beer and maybe it's not like a typical K-pop summer, but I felt like watching that music video feels the most like relatable summer in that way of like, what do you do over the summer when you hang out with your friends? Like you go swimming and you like drink together like on the roof and like whatever, I don't know. But yeah, I think so. But I don't know, I love the music video for Just Right so much. I feel like that's my favorite music video on the list. But I think View is the most summery.
Okay.
What do you think?
Yeah, this is like hard for me to decide because I do like View is my answer for the most important, even though I really do love so many, really love so many of the songs on this list. Like, I think I have to choose that because it's still to this day like one of my favorite SHINee comebacks, and yeah, for all the reasons you said, it's like, and SHINee said on that MMTG show that like the people thought that comeback was crazy. Like they're just wearing jeans. And
it was the first time that they did house and like, yeah. And the girls are taking their tops off and getting kissy in the music video, and like they're actually drinking. Well, they're not like actually, whatever. There's beer in it. Yeah. But you have like all of your bias groups on this list because you've got A-Pink and Hyuna on here too.
For sure. And that Hyuna video is also very important. But and it is a little summary, but it feels more just generally like LA as opposed to like a time period,
which is summer all year round.
Right. And then like the A-Pink Remember video I love so much because it's like boats and sailor outfits. And like that's kind of summery. But I think if I were just to like, you know, pick the most quintessential like summery thing, I almost want to give it to Girls' Generation for Party.
Oh,
just
sure.
Because I feel like the pretty girls in the bikinis and the endless ocean and like
and the infinity
there's just
pools
something
and,
very there's something just very, very summery about that.
We can't stop,
and like I said, we will see many girl group music videos that look very similar to that party video as well. Mm-hmm. It's a blueprint.
Yeah. So that was 2015. All right. Checking in with our next summer, which starts and ends the same way as the last one, which starts with BTS with Fire/Save Me. And then Tiffany from Girls' Generation solo, I Just Wanna Dance. AOA, Good Luck. Jonghyun, She Is. Luna, Free Somebody. EXID, Lie. EXO, Monster/Lucky One. Sistar, I Like That. Taeyeon, Why. Wonder Girls, Why So Lonely. NCT 127, Fire Truck. G-Friend, Navalera, Blackpink Whistle, and Hyuna, How's This? So at least for these first two summers, BTS starts it and Hyuna ends the summer. That's how you do the summer. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so 2016, I feel like the biggest theme, the like most outward theme of 2016 was fire and fire trucks. There's so much fire and or fire trucks.
That is true.
In all of these videos and lyrics. BTS, AOA, NCT, and Blackpink. Fire. So much fire. So it must have been a hot one.
A hot summer.
But this is our K-pop summer. We talk about this one all the time.
Yes.
This was the summer that all summers have yet to live up to.
For real. I mean, for one, this is the summer that has the most SM releases. So when we say that this is like the summer of the SM pool party, like that it is also because of just the sheer amount of SM artists that put out music in these few weeks. But I also think that much more than other years, we will see that this year had a really cohesive sound for SM. I was going to say, like, with the exception of EXO and NCT 127, those two groups had kind of a similar vibe in the sense that they have a lot of like reds and blacks, and like the color palette is louder and darker, and so is the song. Like they have a lot of like voice modulation in it and like heavier EDM. But then when you look at Tiffany and Jong and Taeyeon and Luna, those sounds really get into this like synthy drips and bubbles and like 80s synth, and it was like a very cohesive summer from all of these groups. Palettes were really similar in the music videos, a lot of yellows and pinks, and we even saw some of the same outfits, like Jong and Luna. It's not in She Is, but in the promo photos for She Is, Jong does a photo shoot in that Powerpuff Moschino sweatshirt.
Yes.
And then, which Luna wears a dress of that line in her music video. And then even the Wonder Girls have it in their music video too, which I think actually fits really well with the SM summer sound. Like, I feel like Why So Lonely fits both in color palette and in vibe with that whole SM summer, even though they are obviously not SM.
Yes,
but yeah,
I definitely wrote that. Moschino Couture Powerpuff Girls collection was all the rage that summer. But yeah, I think that's totally true because the color palette stuff is the most apparent. I've talked about this before, but Jonghyun's She Is music video, the color contrast on that video is so strange. It like seems like the TV is broken. Like just the colors are wrong. Like they're just too pink and they're too gray. Like you want to turn the brightness up almost.
Yeah, because the grays are really like loud. The grays are really prominent, but the colors are still really bright.
It's a very
weird
bright
way.
color palette.
Yeah.
But it's like, I don't know, the contrast is odd in an interesting way. And the Why So Lonely video also has a very similar, like, pink washed contrast on it that I think is apparent in a lot of these music videos, actually. Like, compared to last year where I said it was very clear, like, all, 48 color palettes. Like, and then in this year, people are messing with the contrast settings on the video and, like, making people kind of pink tinted or kind of, like...
Yeah.
Like the way that all the Twilight and Harry Potter movies are just like green.
Yes.
Like there's just kind of this pinky sunsetty almost wash over a lot of things.
Yeah, I also noticed that across the different like music, even across like the different companies and music videos, the music videos, I noticed this more so in, definitely didn't notice this at all in 2015, and in other summers I saw that like some music videos had it, but almost every music video on this list this summer had a specific ending title card, which I thought was just like an interesting detail that they decided to do this, like where like the whole screen goes one color and they just repeat the title. There were multiple from like all different companies, and then they also, I noticed weirdly, so many artists wore a yellow graphic t-shirt. That was the look this summer. There's one in She Is, there's one in Free Somebody, there's one in How's This, there's one in Whistle. Everyone was wearing a yellow t-shirt with some kind of simple logo printed on the front. That was the hot ticket.
The look. I remember specifically, I can't remember, like, I know other people wore it, but Luna has a yellow shirt that has the DHL logo on it. Other girl groups were definitely wearing it that summer. Like, I think sometimes the stylists all go shopping at the same sample sales or whatever, and then, like, certain things get very trendy. So, yeah, it was Powerpuff Girl shirts, yellow tees.
Low saturation, but bright pinks and yellows and greens.
Yeah.
But the songs that did not fit into this SM pool party, I think do fall under a similar umbrella to EXO and NCT, like that other side of SM, because then you like Fire and like the EDM breakdown of Good Luck and LIE, like those sort of like heavier like techno songs.
I wrote it as a frantic, clubby anti-chorus is like an element of all of those songs where they just like suddenly like go off.
Yeah.
Fire truck.
Or they make, I also wrote a lot of the songs have non-music as the beats. So using things like sirens or drips or bells or whatever, like sounds that are not clinking music to make up the beat.
But one thing that I did want to note from this summer that is interesting is because I think in our time limit that we set, we kind of like cut off some of the other Sistar summers. But Sistar was very important as like a summer group who put out the Cheeky Summer Banger. But this year in 2016, they did something pretty different with this comeback. I like that. And it was more stylistically like their comeback Alone from like many years before, where it was like slinky sexier, but they wore these little wraparound fabric skirts that they then like it was like a fabric dance.
Yes.
And the whole concept was very like Asian, ancient, like gold, like tattoos and tiger prints.
Yeah, and they had like the sets with like the lanterns and sort of like, it's not straight Shin Hanbok like we talked about in our K-pop meets tradition episode, but it's definitely like traditional inspired aesthetics for the music video, which is a really different vibe for Sistar. And I thought it was interesting. I'm glad you pointed out that Sistar was like our like key summer ladies, because I also noticed through this list that another key group of summer ladies that I had never really considered to be key group of summer, but they're on almost every list, G-Friend.
Yes.
They are always coming out with something in the summer. And the first two songs that we've mentioned so far are like it is like a formula for what a G-Friend summer song sounds and looks like. Like the music videos are similar, the color palettes are similar, the sound of the song is similar. It's like that typical G-Friend, like big strings with the like flowy dance choreography. And yeah, so we're gonna pay attention to what G-Friend does too, because similar to Sistar, they eventually change gears for what they do over the summer, and it's interesting.
But yeah, it is interesting that G-Friend through all their time, I think they're done now, like as of recently.
Oh.
Or they all left their company. So anyway, but they always would like, they did their G-Friend thing and the Korean public like loved it. And they always charted because they made this music that was completely different than everything else. And so there's always like a place for that thing that's totally different. Let's see. What else? I think I've touched on all of my trends. And
so then which of these songs is the most important to you, and which is the most summery?
Is this most summer? Yeah, this feels like such a hard question, because this is the summer, and it feels really hard to like want to pick. How do I pick one? I don't know how I pick one. I know I started this. I said we should pick one, but like, I don't know, because to me this summer is the playlist that I made. That was the Tiffany, Jonghyun, Luna, and Taeyeon albums, plus the Odd album from last summer, because it fit. Yeah. Wonder Girls Why So Lonely was like absolutely on there.
EXO Lucky One was too, even though that one was like a different energy level.
But it was close enough. And like
close enough.
That playlist, like that moment, that's my favorite summer. So like I truly don't know how I could pick one. I don't know how I could pick one.
Yeah, I'm leaning toward Why So Lonely as the most summery, because it is a reggae song, and like they do their I loved that in looking at this music video right after the one they put out in 2015. They're also dressed like retro Barbies in this one, but this time we are like 70s hippie beach Barbies, and we're murdering mannequins. And so that's really fun. But it feels very summery to me, but I do think I think I have to go with Free Somebody, because that song makes me think of like a pride parade.
Sure.
And that is like such an iconic summer image. So I think I have to go with Free Somebody as the most summery. But most important, that's a Sophie's choice, and I won't make it.
For sure. For sure. Yeah, I feel like I'm torn between picking most summery between Why and Why So Lonely. Because I agree with all the Why So Lonely reasoning. Like the fact that it is a reggae song, like just really puts it there, and they nail the style so much, and it's great. But there was really something about Y and that whole album. It's just a really beautiful, it's just like a beautiful, nice song, but like the sounds in it are so like odd, but it just like makes me feel warm in my heart. And it had like a cute partner dance. And the whole video is like her like fucking around in LA, like blonde and sunglasses, and like that feels like summer too. And I also wanted to note, I had never noticed this before, but in the Y video, there's a couple times where Taeyeon is dressed almost exactly like Hyuna is in Roll Deep, and in the like other cuts, like the blonde hair and the mirrored sunglasses and the like denim jacket, like in the desert, like it's the same outfits. And
I wrote that it reminded me of not Troublemaker, but the follow-up to Troublemaker, when they're in the
Now.
Yeah, and Hyuna is blonde and they're in the trailer and she's wearing flannel in the desert, and I was like, aha.
Yes. And she also Taeyeon has a long flannel that says Queen of Beers on the back.
Yes.
Which is funny because Taeyeon doesn't drink, so she's not the Queen of Beers.
Yeah.
But
that also made me laugh because in the previous summer, we didn't mention it, but in the A-Pink music video, Bomi is wearing a shirt that says, I heart cold beer. And so I was like, oh, is this going to be a trend? Like there's going to be one girl wearing a beer shirt in every summer?
Maybe.
There wasn't, but I liked it in these two.
Good to look out for. I think I'm going to give my 2016 crown to the Wonder Girls for Why So Lonely.
Great choice.
It was a great way for them to go out, and it's iconic and wonderful.
Yeah, and if you've never seen that music video, please do yourself a favor because it's great.
All right, on to summer 2017. Here's another one that feels like very burned into my mind. All right, so the songs that we looked at for 2017 were Psy, I Love It, Vic's Shangri-La, 17, Don't Wanna Cry, Twice, Signal, Chungha, Why Don't You Know, G-Dragon, Untitled, Sistar, Lonely, Mamamoo, Yes I Am, Red Velvet, Red Flavor, EXO, Coco Bop, Akmu, Dinosaur, 101, Energetic, and Girls' Generation with Holiday and All Night. Other things that we noted that weren't popular this summer but were important to us: Triple H debuted with 365 Fresh this summer, and also Astro put out Baby, which is one of my favorite Astro songs ever.
Yeah, I love that.
But I thought it was interesting when I was pulling the charts for this one is that up until about July, when like Red Flavor and Coco Bop came out, it was kind of an emo summer. Like people were not putting out fun music, and the only things that were charting were G-Dragon Untitled, which is a ballad, and the Haze album, You, Me, and Clouds, or whatever that one is. Like that's what people were listening to, rainy, sad music most of that summer. And I just thought that was interesting.
Yeah, this was definitely not as typical of a summer. Like we didn't get a lot of like beach songs or, like let's all, party or whatever until the end of the summer, when like Girls' Generation comes out with that sort of like quintessential summer jam that we had kind of been missing the whole time. But I noticed that there were in this summer a lot more dance focused music videos, whereas like other summers had like plot heavy music videos. This was focusing a lot more on the choreo, or maybe even had music videos where the choreo was like the only real part of the music video. I also noticed that in a couple of the different videos there were like distinctly Korean elements, which I just thought was an interesting pattern. Like Psy's music video has certain set pieces where it's like a distinctly Korean street or palace. Then of course we talked a lot about Shangri-La in our K-pop meets tradition. There's both traditional instruments and also traditional clothing and like aesthetics in the sets. And there was also like G-Dragon is wearing hanbok in his music video, even though that music video is just like him being angsty and wearing this hanbok, and like that's it. But I just thought it was an interesting like little pattern that we saw a couple of different music videos that are trying to make that specific distinction of like, here we have these Korean elements. And I thought that was nice. I like seeing it.
Yeah. Another pattern that I noticed in clothing is that there was like vintage girl clothes on Twice. They have like kind of 60s little mod outfits. Mamamoo, same thing, and Red Velvet as well. And then Girls' Generation like went a little more 70s, but like that was a pattern that I noticed.
Yeah, I wrote that down as being like the SM trend of this summer because they didn't necessarily have a cohesive sound the way they did the previous year. Although I think that Red Flavor and Coco Bop both have this sort of like echoey wooden percussion. The Girls' Generation songs are very different. They have like way more disco elements to it. But all of their releases had like vintage clothing, kind of leaning towards 70s in all 4 of the music videos. And I just thought that was a very interesting, like they kind of went for cohesion in the visuals as opposed to in the sound. But overall, the sound of this summer, aside from like the very specific Chainsmoker songs that we got, 울고 싶지 않아. 울고 싶지 않아. We also had a lot of like voice modulations as the beat, like vocalizations that become the instrument. And I think that's part of the like Chainsmoker aesthetic or whatever. It was like, you know, you put together the beat based off of all of these different sounds, but this time the sounds are not coming from like lasers or sirens or drips or bells. They're coming from different people being like, oh, and then like, you know, it gets modulated in whatever way.
For sure. Looking at color, if there were any color patterns, what I noticed this year was that like aqua, like pearl aqua mint was the color of the season. It was in it was like the featured color in every single music video.
Yeah, I literally wrote there's no shiny, but there is a lot of pearl aqua. Coincidence? Or everyone's a shower? Because, yeah, in Twice Signal, Momo was wearing a full pearl aqua outfit. And I was like, Momo came out here saying shiny world. Like,
yeah. The other interesting thing about this summer is like this was Sistar's last summer and they put out this sad ass disbandment song that made everyone cry.
It was so sad.
Because we had to say goodbye to Sistar. And it was sad.
Yeah.
But I was nice of them at least to like, you know, keep their to do it in the summer. Because it's when we expect them. So, like, I guess it's nice to put it to bed in the summer, too. But.
Yes. Yeah, that was, like, their season. But it is a really beautiful song. It has, like, a much, like, simpler sound, I think, than other Sistar songs. Because it's mostly just a guitar with, like, looped vocals. But, yeah, it's really great. I wrote, like, no, you're crying. That's my note for the music video.
Yeah,
because they are like, they're just like it's like such an obvious goodbye, and like they're, you know, saying goodbye to each other too, and like their time as Sistar, and it's really fucking sad. Where's Sistar?
It is really sad.
And we also got, I mean, Holiday and All Night is like the last real Girls' Generation thing we got too. So we're this summer is kind of putting to bed 2 major summer girl groups. So yeah, we're gonna look for, you know, the red velvets and the G dragons, the G friends to pull ahead in the summer, because there's no G friend this summer, so we'll have to see what they come back with. We need new summer queens now that we're not gonna have Sistar and Girls' Generation moving forward.
Yeah, for sure. Let's see. I think that's all I wanted to say about this summer as a whole. But I was just looking through my own notes to be like, what was I listening to this summer? Because I know that I listened to that whole Psy album like a lot. I liked that Psy album. I was still listening to the Taeyong album, which had come out earlier in the year, and a Taeyeon album that had come out earlier that year. But also something that wasn't on the list because it wasn't popular, but was really important to me is Sohyun from Girls' Generation put out her solo album in July. Don't Say No. And that album was like, that, I think that was my summer album that year. That and Coco Bop. Like, that's what I was listening to.
That, Coco Bop, and Taeyang from Big Bang. Yeah. Those were my top ones, too. But this was also the summer we fell for EXO.
Yes, so we were really...
we were struggling.
Yeah. We were struggling. We were catching up on the 4 years before and trying to put ourselves together and
learn all those names.
Yeah, it really was. It was really a moment. It was a time. So what do you think your favorite summer song from this list is?
From this list, I don't know. I think it's probably Coco Bop in the sense of like, which is the song that I have listened to the most. And I would argue that that's probably like my favorite. But I really love Energetic, and I think that's such a great song. I didn't listen to it at the time.
Me either. I discovered it years later.
Yeah, discovered it way later. But that song is fucking great, and I feel like that's the best song on this list, in my opinion, I think. But it doesn't necessarily scream summer to me. Like, I think the summariest song on this list, aside from Holiday, is probably Red Flavor.
I think that would be my vote for summariest because the Korean lyrics like are about, it's like the taste of summer is what they're like talking about, the red flavor and the taste of summer. And the fruit, and they look so cute in their little gingham shorts, and like it's just fucking adorable. And it says like picnic, like it says like picnic time.
Yeah, and I also feel like you can't listen to that like weird like beat any season other than the summer. Like
for sure,
you can't listen to that weird fucking song. It's not the summertime.
All right. Well, that was summer 2017.
Yes, it was.
Okay. Summer 2018. The first thing I have on the list is Polpargansa put out a song called Travel that was very popular in Korea, so it had to go on the list. Then we have BTS Fake Love, AOA Bingle Bangle, Wanna One Light, Blackpink Doo 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 Doo, Shiny I Want You, Taeyeon Something New, Newest W Deja Vu, Momoland Bam, A-Pink I'm So Sick, Twice Dance the Night Away, Mamamoo Egotistic, 17 Oh My, Chungha Love You, Triple H Retro Future, and Red Velvet Power Up. Phew. Whew. We had to gather a lot because it was hard to like. There were this, as the K-pop gets exponential, it's always like so hard to then narrow it down because every summer more music, like every year more music comes out. So we did our best. What are any trends? How do we start with 2018?
Okay, I noticed a couple of things from the music. A lot of songs that have a very distinct snap line, where like the snaps are important and very distinctive throughout the whole thing. It's in 101, it's in Shiny, in Newest, in A-Pink, and then we also had a couple of songs that used video game sounds in the instrument. Twice, 17, and Red Velvet all have
AOA
these.
too.
Oh, and
I would argue
Bingle
Bangle has
yes,
those.
yes. And that one has a whole video game theme to the music video as well. The other songs, it doesn't necessarily factor into the visuals, but it is definitely in the song. And I had also like a lot of nonsense vocals as beats, like either the little O's or mms or like a didajus or whatever, like na-na-nas, all of these little nonsense lyrics that weren't necessarily lyrics, but were part of the background instrumentation of the song.
Yeah, for sure. I noticed in a pattern as well that the Blackpink, Momoland, and Twice songs have horn-based anti-choruses.
Yes.
And they're all like such memorable bangers for that very reason.
Yeah, and those songs also have like chanty vocals too.
Yes.
Yeah.
I feel like this was the year that I was able to find the most patterns in the sounds, but the looks and stuff started to get like, there seemed to be less pattern. Because another thing that felt noticeable was that newest Taeyeon, Mamamoo, Chungha, and Triple H have a like very prominent guitar or bass.
Yeah.
Like the song is carried by a very strong guitar or bass line that's kind of empty otherwise, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than both the Pink and Aquas from previous years converging in some bisexual lighting for like on the Blackpink video and the A-Pink video and the Triple H video for sure. Yeah. I noticed that starting to come in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there were not a lot of visual trends that I noticed. Although it is very, very colorful for the most part. Like there are other summers that feel more like neutral, but this one was pretty bright overall. Like whether we were throwing together a lot of different patterns, like in Triple H, or whether we were having like a lot of just like solid prints, very loud.
Yes, very loud. But yeah, this summer felt like this one and the next couple. I feel like that very, stereotypical beaches and parties kind of summer vibe starts to go away. And I wonder if it's, again, because there's too much K-pop and people can't schedule, and like if it's just like you get your comebacks out when you have time and people don't have time to be planning around the seasons anymore and make a summer music video, or like, I don't know, but I just like kind of noticed that like, I don't know, there don't seem to be a lot of like stereotypical, like Twice's Dance the Night Away being on like an island, and then like dancing on an island is like the most.
That is the only one that is really like that. Yeah.
Oh, and the Bolpayan song also was like about going on vacation, and they were like in the back of a pickup truck, like driving to the beach. But
yeah, and like in Power Up, they wear similar like gingham dresses, the way that they did it in Red Flavor, which for a second I was like, is this like Red Velvet's summer outfit? Like they have to wear this like picnic blanket pattern.
They might have to.
But it was not beach. It was not like beach themed. The music video, and there's no G Friend. I'm gonna call them G Dragon forever now. There's no G Friend in this summer either, so we don't have our like pretty dainty girls on a boat. And A-Pink went with a very different vibe. Yeah, A-Pink said
when they were drama in gowns. And
yeah.
Excuse me, I'm done.
Yeah, they have their snaps and their oh nana anti-chorus.
Yeah. But yeah, it was funny because when we first started doing this, like in the 2015, 2016, I would like want to write down like all the girls are wearing really short shorts. And then I thought like, why would you write that down? There's summer music videos. Of course they're all wearing shorts. But then they stopped wearing the shorts. So like I could have noted it. Because they do stop wearing the like summer outfits eventually. I just noticed it. It was interesting.
No, you're so right. Like I think most of the girl group music we got from the first two summers, you could have seen way more like formulaic releases. And now I think maybe because now that we're in 2018, like K-pop has exploded on a global stage in such a different way than where it was in 2015, that now the groups can break out of that formula and like try different things. And so that's why we're getting, you know, something like I'm So Sick or Egotistic or Retro Future or whatever. We're getting these like different summer sounds from the ladies in particular, which I think is fun.
Yeah. That's all my trends. Anything else?
Those are my trends as well. The SM, they had 3 very different releases this summer, so there was not a lot of consistency for them in visuals or in sounds, I didn't think.
Yeah. And I do agree that I've always said that I Want You is the summariest of the Story of Light releases, so like it times out nicely, and that's good. But yeah, that Taeyeon song is crazy. I put it on my list for 2018 of my favorite songs of that year. She's like a crime fighting spy in the music video. There's like nothing about nothing about it is summer, even a little bit.
No, it's such an outlier for Taeyeon and for this list in particular, or like for SM in their summer, and also for just like general summer releases. Like it's so different. But yeah, it is really great. She does her like Imogen Heap vocals and like big bass. And yeah, it's fun. It's a good song. Is I Want You the song that you think is the summariest on this list?
I think of like, I mean, I'm curious if Dance the Night, like thinking about Dance the Night Away, but removing the visuals of Dance the Night Away, like does that song sound summery, or were we tricked into thinking that it did?
Well, it does have that kind of like pipey, like.
Yes, it is. If you want to have some fun, I mean,
like that sounds very summery to me, and I feel like and the choreo too of like bow 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 bow, and like the knees and the like, whatever, you know.
And the fact that my usual criteria for a summer song is, can I lay it over a cruise ship commercial?
And you definitely
can.
You
could.
You definitely can. This is the most cruise ship commercial song on the list, I think.
For sure. So I think maybe I would give the summariest award to Twice.
I think so too.
But if I have to pick a personal, like, what is my summer 2018 song, I have to give it to Retro Future, because my whole summer was about worrying about Hyuna.
Yeah.
So like that's the moment.
I was gonna choose Retro Future as like the most important, because that was a fucking moment, and it was like, it's definitely a song that I think is evergreen. Like it doesn't scream summer to me in particular, but it was like so wonderful and important to me. Yes. So I definitely like paid attention to, and that song, like, you know, is like in bold in my eyes when I see it. But yeah, this was a fun summer. It
was. Yeah, I think when I was looking at my playlist, I was like, what was I listening to in 2018 summer? And I was still catching up on Pentagon. That was because that's what I was doing.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no. You know what? I have to give
17.
I have to give it to Oh My. I have to. I literally just looked. I was like, wait a minute, where is 17? Because I was like, this is 2018. No. 2018 is the summer I fell for 17, and Oh My is the first 17 comeback that I was like here for.
And then we got to see them do it in the summer of 2018. We saw 17.
Yeah, and the summer of 2018, like after Shiny came out, I bought all of 17's music and listened to all of it all summer long. So it was like Shiny and 17 was my summer. So I do think maybe I associate Retro Future more with the fall of 2018.
Maybe.
But yeah, I gotta give it up for my 17. 2018
very fair.
Was my 17 summer.
Very fair. All right, moving on to summer 2019. The songs we were looking at were Winner, Ah Yeah, GOT7, Eclipse, NCT 127, Superhuman, WJSN, Boogie Up, Follow, Red Velvet, Zimzalabim, G-Friend, Fever, Baekhyun, UN Village, XOSC, What a Life, Kang Daniel, K Danny, What Are You Up To? ITZY, Icy, Chungha, Snapping, NCT Dream, Boom, and Red Velvet, Oompa Oompa. Yeah, what a list.
Yeah, right off the bat, my main note was the girls are having fun and the boys are being dramatic.
Yeah.
Because that was a lot of this year. Dramatic boys. And I also noticed that this year we had it was just generally darker. Like, for color palettes, like a lot more black and gray and white with like very strategic pops of color instead. So like only red and yellow or like only pink and blue or whatever, but it was only like a little bit of a pop. The door in the background is a color against the like neutral whatever. So I thought that was interesting that we were getting into like a darker sort of vibe for the summer, at least visually, if not like sonically as well. I'm looking for, let me see, what did I write down for sounds that I noticed? A lot of echoey vocals, echoey layered vocals and harmonies. And we're still sticking with that like vocals as the background as well. Yeah. Tons of trap beats. I feel like this is the first.
This is when it was very clear that it was like, this is what K-pop does, trap drums only now.
Yeah.
All the rappers have adjusted their rap speed. This is what this is what we do now.
Yeah, this is what we're doing.
I noticed there's like a similar like kind of watery, springy almost percussion sound in the XOSE, K Danny, and Chungha songs.
Yeah.
Like it's a similar like that like
yeah.
whatever. It's in all of the songs. And it's also arguably like a different version of it in Boogie Up. Like the percussion in Boogie Up sounds like bubbles or something. Like it's a very like boingy.
I wrote
percussion.
Sounds as beats, and I described them as whooshes. And like Zimzalabim has all kinds of weird shit in that song. I was like bells, a snare, a weird buzzing sound. Like I don't know, how do you say? A mess. But we've got G-Friend back, and they came back with a very, very different vibe this summer. I feel like Cosmic Girls are the ones that are bringing in that like typical K-pop girl group with Boogie Up, because Boogie Up is that like girls' generation party. We're gonna be dancing by the pool and by the beach, and then we're gonna end at a club. Like we're wearing red, white, and denim. We're wearing gingham and yellow. Like this is the look. But then G-Friend comes in with Fever, and they have like a very different vibe, like more mature sound to them. They don't have that that sort of like driving guitar with like the big strings that they usually do, and they have like a very sort of muted color palette. Like they're in like the desert, and they have like all black outfits, a lot of pearl aqua in that music video, I noticed. But yeah, they're growing up and they're coming back with a different sound.
Yes, for sure. But the sound like fits with the rest of this year because it has the anti-chorus is similar in, like you said, the Boogie Up, and also the Winner song has a really catchy like good anti-chorus as well. This does feel like sonically a more cohesive summer, but the looks are all over the place and the vibes are like generally dark and unsummery.
Yeah, we don't
Except
have
for, like you said, the girls are having fun. Like,
Yeah.
ITZY is having fun. WJSN is having fun.
Oompa Oompa
XOSC is
super
having fun, I will argue.
XOSC is having fun, but the music video is a little... oh, no, actually, What a Life. I was thinking of 1 billion views. You're right. EXO is having fun. Yeah. I was just going to say something. Oh, I was thinking of Oompa Oompa. That's very summery, but it's like a summer vacation that gets rained out. So it's like, even that is like almost a bummer. Like, it's still a really fun song, but it's a bummer of a vacation. You know what I mean? So it is interesting. SM, their vibes this summer, they had like heavier bass and darker colors in the music video aside from like Red Velvet and XOSC. But they have a lot of like box sets and dance focused music videos with the exception of XOSC and Baekhyun. They don't dance. But otherwise, like, Red Velvet, they both have, and NCT Dream, both have like very dance focused, like box set music videos.
Yeah. That's all I've got on these as a whole. I'm trying to think. I was trying to remember, like, what was I listening to in the summer of 2019 to try to remember what my thing would have been if it's not on this list. I mean, the XOSC, oh my god, it's Wiki Miki Tiki Taka. That was my actual song that summer.
Yeah.
But I forget because Wiki Miki isn't very popular.
Yes. Wait, let me look at my summer 2019 playlist. Oh, you know who else put shit out in 2019? The Jonas Brothers.
Oh, we might have been a little distracted by
to
Jonas Brothers.
Yeah. Yeah, I know that the XOSC and that Baekhyun those EPs were very important to me that summer, as was the Jonas Brothers reunion. Yeah, those are my tops for sure.
And also, I think Baekhyun, of this list, it's probably like of anything I listened to the most on the. It might be Superhuman. I really liked Superhuman.
Sure. I mean, that is a SHINee song.
Because it's a SHINee song, and so that's why I really like Superhuman. Yeah, because it's a SHINee song.
Absolutely. I like Follow too. It's I love but like it's not a summer song. And I love Boom as well, but I didn't really listen to it that much when it came out. But that's a song I've grown to appreciate for sure.
Yeah, I agree.
I just love the like boom 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 boom. It reminds me of something. Ba-na, ba-na-na-na, da-na, da-na-na-na, ba-na, ba-na, ba. Is that like a Pussycat song?
Oh. The boys are waiting. It's my milkshake. Brings all the
milkshake. Oh my god, is that the same beat in Boom and Milkshake? Somebody make us a remix.
Somebody live them all over each other. I bet that cool TikTok DJ with the like hair that looks like Ruby Rose has probably mashed those up together before we should check.
I should message her. I wonder if she takes requests. I love her Super M remixes. All right, anyway. They're good. What is the summariest song? What's the
I think if I go by my criteria that I established in 2015, then WJSN wins it for giving me my bikini girls on the beach doing adorable choreo that I think is what summer is about. Because the boys never do that. 2 p.m. did it like one time for a commercial. But like if the boys were doing like swim trunk, giggle.
Oh my god! Why don't we?
If boys did summer part like shirtless summer parties the way that the girls groups do bikini, like come on.
Yeah. What the hell? 2 p.m. I know. I've seen that water park commercial. I know you're capable of giving me some Baywatch. What the fuck? Yeah, it's also, funny that, like, Icy is on this list because that is, like, what do you do in LA in the summer? Oh, I walk down to Grand Central Market and, like, get some ice cream. And, like, that's what they do in that music video.
Yeah.
So that's a very, like, relatable summer. Mm-hmm. But so is What a Life is not relatable because I don't live in a high fashion mansion in LA. But
you do drive past it.
Used to work in that neighborhood. And I taught all those brats that lived in those mansions. I'll never forget. Never forget driving past that music video set. Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah. I agree. Right. I think Boogie Up is probably the summariest. That and Oompa Oompa I do think is like very summery. Even though it's a rainy summer. Sometimes it rains, man.
Yeah. Sometimes it does. All right. one more summer to look at, and we looked at this summer very in depth in 2 different episodes last year when we talked about literally everything that came out. So the songs we chose to look at for this summer were newest, I'm in Trouble, NCT 127, Kick It, Baekhyun, Candy, Monsta X, Fantasia, Twice, More and More, Stray Kids, God's Menu, 17, Left and Right, Irene and Seulgi, Monster, G-Friend, Apple, XOSC, 1 billion views, Blackpink, How You Like That, ATEEZ, Inception, Jessie, Nunu Nana, Kong Daniel, Who You Are, and Sock 3, Beach Again.
Phew!
And as we discussed in our quarterly reports, Cowboy Agenda was very important last year, and it was really showing itself in this summer of 2020.
Yes, we had our Cowboy Agenda, Monsta X Fantasia doing it like the best. Our personal favorites, but I think there were also a lot of like general retro vibes to many of these music videos. Like Kick It has that kind of 90s Bruce Lee. Baekhyun is Candy, like that's also very 90s like styling in the music video. I think
Twice has those very heavily patterned like 70s boho
Twice
dresses.
Is super 70s. Like even Left and Right feels kind of vintage in like a weird mismatched sort of way. And 1 billion views has like, it's futuristic, but it's like 80s Tron future.
Retrofuturism.
Yeah, exactly. And then Jessie, like Nunu Nana, that is like so early 2000s. She's like taking straight from like a J-Lo music video, like the Destiny's Child Survivor music video, Jenny from the Block. And then there's Sock 3 that's doing this very specific like 90s throwback. So I feel like in general, and I think we talked about this when we did our 2020 episode, that there were a lot of retro throwbacks and like aesthetics in these music videos to a lot of the releases throughout the year, and you see that in the summer as well, for sure.
Yeah, when I was trying to like look for again like color palette patterns or any kind of aesthetic patterns in the music videos, the only pattern I found was that people were wearing like gold and black and leather and fancy like royalty concept type clothing. And so this was when it really clicked for me that between 2015 and 2020, like the summer got sucked out of the summer. And it just sort of felt like the K-pop just continued. And there was nothing...
We don't do summer songs anymore.
No seasonal.
Yeah, we're really not doing summer songs anymore. We're not going to the beach. Like there are 0 cutesy girl group songs on this, with the except like More and More doesn't count because even though that is summery, it's like tropical house and it has this like crazy EDM breakdown in the middle of it. But there's no like, you know, boogie up girls on the beach in their bathing suits dancing. That doesn't exist anymore.
The closest thing I even found when scanning our entire Q like quarterly document was that Ravi put out a music video where he was on a yacht called Paradise, and that was the closest like summer thing I could find.
Well, the only other one I would feel like would be Sock 3 Beach Again, because they're like actually going to the beach.
At the beach.
But everybody else, like think about like G-Friend Apple or Irene and Seulgi Monster, like Monsta X Fantasia. Like these are God's Menu. How You Like That. Like these are like dark.
Yeah, everyone just looked grand and dark.
Yeah.
And like, chains and shiny things.
Everybody's wearing black and gold, and everybody's being loud this summer. Like but we've got deep, thick bass, heavy EDM. Like nobody's making light, summery, pipey, like none of those marimbas. Like nothing.
No marimbas.
No marimbas.
Only screams and construction noise.
Yes, and literal screams as background vocals and background instrumentation. Like we're getting not just the vocalizations of like the O's and the ahs as the vocals, but we're getting actual in the background of the music.
Yeah, let me introduce you to some new things. New things. I'm dreaming a dream every night. Imagine that they don't yeah, always I kill.
So yeah, everyone was just getting real fucking loud. real loud.
Really loud. Because we were inside. And everyone had a lot of pent-up
energy, I guess. But yeah, the SM, I also wrote down that like black and gold or black and yellow and white was like the most popular color scheme, for sure. And SM went with different sounds, but like I said, just sort of a general like 80s, 90s retro look to their music videos, but they didn't really sound similar at all.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it was an interesting summer overall.
It was certainly an interesting summer. And it's funny to like look through this list now because this is like definitely, I feel like 2020 maybe has some of the biggest variety in the songs that have come out. Like between I'm in Trouble, Kick It, Candy, Fantasia, and More, like just those top 5 songs, all 3 of them are completely different, or all 5 of them are completely different, different vibes. Like that's, wow. Yeah. A lot of really different sounds coming out in 2020.
And yeah, I was listening to so much music because I was just like sitting inside. But I think the one, like we talked about it a lot, but I think I'd have to give my personal 2020 crown award to Fantasia Monsta X because we threw ourselves into that comeback so hard, and like waking up to watch new stages of that like kept me going through tough weeks. Like that comeback held me together in a specific way that I will never forget. So like my personal award has to go to Fantasia.
That is fair. I will also say that there was a lot of really good girl group music that didn't make this list that came out last summer. Wiki Miki Oopsie. We had Hyolyn Say My Name.
Yes.
Itzy Surf. We had oh wait, maybe that came out after the summer. We had Brave Girls, We Ride.
Oh my God. Yes.
Such important girl group music that was maybe not as like high performing. So it didn't make it onto this list. But those were all really good. I mean, I'm trying to think of the most summery in this. I don't know. I loved I'm in Trouble so much, but that does not feel summery to me at all. That feels like a very wintry song to me, even though I thought it was great. Left and Right feels very summery.
Yeah, I feel like I would make arguments for like Left and Right, 1 Billion Views, or Nu Nu Na Na having the proper vibes.
Summer vibes.
For a summer thing. Because those are maybe arguably some of the funnest things on this list.
Yeah, the other songs are like way more serious, for sure. But I loved Apple too. Like, this is too hard to pick.
It was too hard to pick.
It's too hard to pick.
But yeah, I think if we were going like charts alone or what history, we'll remember like Jessie's Nu Nu Na Na was like number 1, like the vast majority of the year in 2020. Yeah. So like, I think that's the song. That
was the song of the summer, I think. Like this, so na na na.
Well, that was the last 5 or 6. I'm not but good at math. That was the summers of the past from 2015
to today.
So now to today, looking forward to summer 2021. What can we expect? What do we think we might see? These are the questions that I have. I will say, as I wrote down here in the notes, that Monsta X has thrown a gauntlet. So how does everyone else feel about trying to top them this summer?
Huh? Oh my God. Bring it on, boys. I think the only thing that will top at Gambler right now is going to be some slutty lifeguards, maybe. Like if you really want
2 p.m. You said you were coming back.
Yeah, you motherfuckers. Where are you? It's fucking 2 p.m. God damn you. What even was your last summer release? Go Crazy? I don't even think that came out in the summer.
I don't even know if that... No, I think that was like a fall thing. Maybe. I don't remember.
Well, yeah, Monsta X has been doing great so far. I'm trying to think of the other things. I mean, we're still in the beginning of the summer. So, like, things that have come out in the past, like, couple weeks. I feel like
we got WJSN. We got our Easy the Black was a great time.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know if it counts as K-pop because it's English, but like BTS is out for the first summer in quite a few summers.
We have our advice, although maybe that like that definitely is like right there at the beginning of the summer. Wonwoo and Mingyu just put out a single called Bittersweet. Beautiful. Not very summery, but fucking gorgeous. Please do yourself a favor.
EXO's coming back in 5 days.
EXO's coming back.
EXO's coming back. Yeah.
They haven't put something out in the summer since Coco Pop.
Yeah.
That's the last time they were on this list. We've just had Baekhyun and Chanyeol and Sehun holding it down. And now half of those are in the military. 2 of the 3 I just mentioned are in the military now. Oh, EXO, what are you going to do? Who is going... You guys, how are they even going to promote whatever they are going to do? All of their mouthpieces are in the military. Who is left, you guys? Sehun, Kai, Minsuk, Dio. None of those guys are taking the mic. Not one of them. Not one. Suho, they're screwed. They're screwed without you.
The videos that they put up on their YouTube channel the past couple of days where that host guy from Kingdom is like interviewing them. Beck and Chanyeol are there. Like they recorded all this stuff while they were still around because they knew that without them they wouldn't have anything to say.
At least they know themselves. They're very self-aware.
Oh boy. So that's a thing to look forward to. Also, Twice and 17 will be back in like 2 weeks.
Amazing. I don't know if this would make the cut, though. I don't remember when this came out. But my girls, Kimbo, put out a song called Whatever, which has been great. I love it. It's very good. They even got to go on It's Live, that YouTube show where they do the live performances, and they're so cute and they sound so good, and I'm so proud of them. And it's a really good song, like probably one of their best to date. So check it out, Kimbo, Whatever.
That's great. It was my Donnie baby's birthday yesterday. Happy birthday to Don, which means it's almost Yana's birthday. Anyway, he did like a little live thing and he said he promised in it, and these are his literal words, he said in English that he would put out a, quote, hot summer banger very soon.
Slutty lifeguard?
I'll message him.
I am now
get into the concept.
Slide into those DMs. I am now going to be waiting, like holding my breath for a male lifeguard concept. Who will do it first? Who will be brave and slutty enough?
Yeah. But like so far the only like trend I've seen is like Starship. We were talking about this yesterday because the Monsta X comeback is called One of a Kind. The main song is called Gambler. So this is like an early rec, but I did just want to discuss this. They're continuing their Being Love Killa things, and it's like a heist music video. But WJSN The Black also did a heist music video. So we're saying Starship's 10. Let's put them together.
Yeah.
Let's do a co-ed heist. Come on.
Yes.
They started a cinematic universe for us.
And Starship has brought out, so their groups, they are doing big level, big budget heists in the most perfectly tailored suits.
Yes.
The most exquisite suits. And like 5 suits per person in each music video. Like there's so many good looks, and we need the crime syndicate to get together, pool their winnings. Like let's get the trilogy, right? Give us the Black was first movie, Gamblers the second one. We need a collab for the third one. Let's go.
I really want it.
Yeah.
I really, really want it.
That would be something I would love to have over the summer. EXO, of course, is something to clutch our pearls for. And then I also, like, if we're just making wishes, hey, TVXQ, where are you?
Yeah, come on,
Come on,
don't let them keep you down.
Everybody
Let's
loves
go.
you, and no one believes that wackadoo story. We know you're a good person, so give us some music, please. Changmin,
Please.
Kingdom is over, I think. You're now unemployed. Let's go.
You have a wife and a dog.
You have a wife and a dog to support. Buzzy needs food.
Yes. And how are you going to afford your Lego sets?
Yeah.
If you don't work.
Work, bitch.
Yeah, wishes. If I could just make a wish, like I would like 2 p.m. to come back already, and if they could do it for the summer and do something hot, that'd be great.
That'd be great if you could give us our slutty lifeguards. I might forgive you for being away for 7 years. Maybe.
I don't know if I needed to be the summer, if I'd just like it before the year ended, but I'd really like a proper A-Pink comeback.
Absolutely.
Because we haven't had one in a while, and they should, put their money where their mouth is. And they said that now didn't leave the group, so group comeback, let's go. Yeah, that would be great. And then I don't know, just like
a
some
full
good,
Red
fun
Velvet
songs.
comeback. That would be fun.
That would be wonderful.
Red Velvet was
Can we
on
have that?
almost all of our lists, if not maybe all of
Yes.
them. So we need some summertime Red Velvet.
Ooh, and something just like as a potential, like, oh, are we seeing a trend happening here, or is this going to be one of those very unique things? The recent Everglow comeback is pretty crazy in that it's sonically very different from not only Everglow music, but just like generally a lot of things, and the fashion is also completely bananas. Like they're wearing things I've never seen anybody wear before, and the uniqueness of it is like refreshing and intriguing.
Yeah, I that is like a very interesting comeback, and it's been fun to like keep an eye on Everglow and kind of like see what they put out, because this I feel like is the first time that we see that sort of like noise music like genre or like side of K-pop done so well by a girl group and done so like hard. You know what I mean? Like they go hard in this music video, and they are like dancing so hard, and like they have like such great looks, and like they are, really giving it their all in the way that I feel like, the Stray Kids and the ATEEZ like do when they're doing their God's menu. Like that is the energy that Everglow is giving to this. And that's something you really don't see very often in girl groups. So like that alone, I think makes it worth watching. That's not usually the kind of K-pop I like to listen to. So it's not like really my style, but it's a thing to behold.
Yeah. And I'm intrigued by it. I have one more like prediction / thing, but I'm going to save it because I plan to make it my recommendation. So I'm going to hold for now. But if you have anything else?
I don't think so. I would, although I guess if we are making wishes, I would love to see a shiny subunit.
Yes. That's the deepest, truest wish.
We have 3 of them still.
Come on.
Don't
That's
just let
plenty.
them sit around.
Trios are great.
Trios are great. You can do a lot with trios. EXO CBX is the best part of EXO.
Exactly.
Thank you very much.
All right. Well, on that extremely wonderful and perfect wish, we'll be right back with the random game. Okay, we are back. And this week, the random number generator gave us girl group Dal Shabet.
Yes, Dal Shabet was originally a 6-member girl group that was created by a producer duo named E-Tribe under Happy Face Entertainment. The producer duo is known for producing songs like G by Girls' Generation, You Go Girl by Lee Hyori, and Ya 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 by Tiara. And so they had 6 members originally in 2011, but they had a little bit of a little bit of a tumultuous run. They lost a couple of members throughout the years, and then and like a few of the members chose to go on the unit. Like, you know, contracts expired that didn't get renewed, and members went on to be actresses and things like that. But before any of that happened, they put out quite a bit of music. They have a full-length album and 10 EPs released between 2011 and 2016. So they were putting out at least one every year.
Yeah, if not, they put out 3 whole EPs in their debut year, which is really a lot. And I only know a single Dalshabet song that was one of their last. It's called Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And it was one they put out with 4 members back in like 2016 or something. And that's all I know about them. But I also know that they come up a lot on both people's underrated girl groups that should have been appreciated lists, as well as lists about band music videos and band choreography, because it appears that their company was constantly trying to push the envelope, because there's a level of attention when you make that your gimmick.
Sure.
And it seems like that might have been their gimmick, because it seems like the vast majority of their music videos were banned for sexual choreography or naughty lyrics.
Oh dear. They officially disbanded in 2016, but that after 2 of the members had left, they came back as 4, and then by the end of 2016 they were no longer promoting together, but then in 2019 they got together for a little reunion with all 6 members. So even the 2 who had originally left like several years back in 2015, they came back, and they did like a little like a live sort of, you know, stage or something, but they didn't put out any new music. They didn't promote anything. And one of the members said that even though they're not promoting, they are not disbanded, but they have not ever done anything together. So who knows what that really means for them being reunited.
Yes, very interesting that they got all 6 of them back together for like a concert in 2019. Yeah. And they had the 2 members who had left announced that they had rejoined the group. So like, I wonder if 2020 had gone differently, if they might have actually tried it. But
maybe they had plans that weren't able to follow through.
Yeah, but it seems like they did get like a bit of attention in their early years. Like in 2011 and 2012, they like won awards at like the Golden Discs and the Mamas for like new female artist, and like they had a moment there at the beginning. Yeah, so I'm very curious as to see one of these naughty music videos. So their most popular one is for a song called Joker, which was banned not only for its suggestiveness, but also the way that they pronounce Joker sounds like they're cursing in Korean.
I see. All right. Well, let's check it out.
All right. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay. Flower crown.
Wow, a lot of flower crowns. Whoa. It's a lot of headpieces.
They look very fancy.
We've got veils and tulle and flower crowns and brocade.
And a hall of mirrors and crazy geographic shapes. Oh, she's going to go into that mirror.
Oh, here we go. Into the looking glass. Oh, wow.
Oh, no,
the
actual
Joker. Oh, okay. Oh, there's a lot of Jokers.
All the backup dancers are dressed like Jokers.
Wow. Okay, well, obviously know why this choreo was banned already. That's pretty clear. Wow, look at those
the
low
cleavage
cut
is
outfits.
Wild.
Holy shit.
Oh, those outfits are kind of cute, actually.
They are kind of cute in like a magician's assistant sort of way.
Yes.
I like the big band sound of this song.
Yeah.
This is fun.
That's the one who I know. That's Sari. That's the only member. Like, I follow her on Instagram.
Nice. Wow, they have a lot of outfits in this music video too. Those
I was
red
expecting
ones,
something cheaper, but it like looks like
They invested money in these slutty girls.
It's just the shots that are cheap. It's just these ass close-ups that are cheap.
But it's interesting that the blue dresses that they're wearing that look like the magician's assistant, they have the same cutouts as the red leather ones they were just wearing. Like the tops are the same.
Oh, that move is really something.
I know.
If you're not watching, they're like on their knees and then they just hump into their hands. It's really wild.
Yeah. And there is like, they are wearing these like flesh-colored tank tops. Yeah, flesh. I just noticed that it's not skin. But they're wearing these like Vegas card girl, like cigarette girls at the casino, vests, dress vest that is like so low cut. And it looks like they're not wearing anything underneath it. And so it's just like, wow. So many of these outfits have like insane cutouts in them. They really committed with the Joker makeup.
Yeah.
These boys.
Oh, tank tops.
I guess we needed a black leather shot as well.
Yeah, seeing the close-ups now, it would be really crazy if they were just wearing those vests open. But it looked like it. It
really looked like it. But yeah, that would be insane. We would be giving out a lot of nipple points, I think.
Yes.
I almost wish it was a little bit more of a partner dance. Like, if you're gonna use the boys as objects, like, use them as your fucking objects.
Yeah.
He's just a joker. Oh, wow. Look at those poses.
Well, I mean, they were hot, and they knew it.
They were very hot.
There you go. That was Dalsha Bet.
Dalsha Bet.
All right. Weekly recommendation time.
You go first.
I'll go first because I sort of teased mine. So my recommendation is for a specific song on the new Oh My Girl album, their Dun Dun Dance album. And Dun Dun Dance is fun. It's fine. It's like it's that super catchy, bordering on annoying, like K-pop song. It's fine. The rest of the album, however, it's a beautiful piece of experimental K-pop that I can't get over. Like every song is so different and interesting. And I specifically want to recommend a song called My Doll. And I'm playing a clip of it right now, which I usually don't do at recommendations, but you have to hear it or you won't believe me because no K-pop sounds like this, so I can't describe it to you. But listening to this song, I just suddenly feel like it is 2007 again, and I am listening to Postal Service and walking around on my college campus and feeling sad. I sent it to Yusong immediately. I was like, listen to this fucking Postal Service K-pop song, this Imogen Heap K-pop song. And he was like, oh my God, it's amazing. And I said that between this song and the SHINee song Kind from earlier this year, I feel like there's a chance that Folktronica is coming to K-pop, and I'm really ready for it. I'm really ready for it. So I hope that this really cool song is indicative of cool songs to come, but if not, it's great. And way to go, Oh My Girl, for making such an experimental album. So I recommend the whole thing, but I can't get over this My Doll song. I can't stop listening to it. It's great. So that's awesome. My recommendation.
Great. I mean, I feel like I gave a couple recommendations earlier. Like, I definitely recommend Bittersweet by Wonwoo Mingyu, and I also recommend Whatever by Kimbo. But I guess my official recommendation, I will make it a B-side off of the new Monsta X album.
Which one?
Because that Monsta X album is very good. Like, yes, I've got to tell you guys, this is, I think, the best Monsta X album to date. It is certainly my favorite. They have talked about how they've gotten to play a larger role in self-producing this album. And I think that really goes to show, I think it really shows that they like know who they are as a group and like how to make music together, like that plays to all of their strengths. So because of that, it is difficult to pick a B-side off of this album because it is a very good and cohesive album. But my favorite, without a doubt, has to be Bebe. And this is for their Mon Bebes. And it is just a really beautiful song. It has like a lovely guitar in it. And I Am and Juan started off with their pretty low voices. There is a stage of it already that was performed at their recent comeback showcase, and Shonu is not participating in the promotions of this album, just FYI. He is like taking a mental, or not a mental health break, he's taking a health break for his eye. He had surgery last summer, so he's recovering. But so he's not in the performance, but they keep his vocals in it, which is very sweet. But you don't have to watch it live. You can if you want to. But it's a very good, that exists. Like if you're looking it up or whatever, you can watch that live, but Shonu's not there, but they keep his voice in it. Anyway, it's really beautiful. It's called Bebe. The whole album is great. It's very sexy, as only Monsta X can do. They are filling in that 2 p.m. vibe. 2 p.m. Who? But yeah, great job, Monsta X. The song Secret is all secret.
English song, really Secrets.
Fully in English, very sexy. And if you want IM's like Ho anthem of the year, you can listen to Rotate.
Oh my God. He needs to be thrown in jail.
Straight to jail.
To horny jail. Bonk,
do not
bonk,
collect $200.
Bonk.
Straight to horny jail.
Bonk. Well, yeah, that's great. Everybody listen to that. I'm so happy. My Monsta X is back.
So proud of Monsta X. Shonu, I miss you. Minhyuk, you look great.
He does look great. He does look great. They all look great. They all have black hair, you guys. They look so
all
superior.
have black hair right now. And in the music video, Chuani has this part where he has like a little Superman curl on one side, and then on the other side, he has like finger waves with gold leaf in his hair. And it looks fucking amazing. And I need to see it on a stage. And, like, obviously I miss Shonu the most, but him not being there has allowed me to appreciate how beautiful the other members are.
Yeah.
And, like, Minhyuk, now you can bias wreck me to your heart's content because my bias isn't there. So go crazy.
And it seems like he's gonna. So.
He is gonna. He's gonna.
Yeah, he had his chesty out at the live showcase, and last year when everyone else had their chesties out, he was wearing a turtleneck. So I'm just saying.
Yes, and at their comeback showcase when they performed Gambler, like Kihyun is like all done up in his 3-piece suit, and like Juani has his like tie like up to the knot or whatever. Minhyuk has not only an undone tie, but also an undone vest and like 3 buttons buttoned. So he is like halfway to the bed already, like on stage. And it's great. Go nuts. Go nuts, Minhyuk. I'm here for you.
Yay, Monsta
Don't tell Shonu.
Yeah, just don't tell Shonu. Oh boy. Well, that is it for today. Thank you as always for joining us. KPSN Fest. Stay tuned. Follow us or them on social media. Tickets are going on sale officially, if you didn't make it to the pre-sale on Monday, June the 7th. We'll tweet out links and all of that stuff. I really hope you guys can join us. And when the links go live on Monday, so does the entire schedule. So you can see who's going to be there and plan out your weekend at the virtual podcast festival. So,
yeah. And like we said, it will be much more like an actual virtual convention. There's going to be a lot of different events and speakers like all throughout the day. And there are a few different events that are featuring speakers in different time zones. So like if you are somebody that's in a different time zone as well, like just take a look at what is happening, because I know that we are starting earlier this year in order to get some of those people that are in Korea or in the UAE or wherever else our wonderful presenters are coming from.
Yeah, and the whole thing will be on a platform that's called Wova. So when you buy your tickets or go to sign up, you'll make a profile on there, and they showed us like at the demo this summer that you guys can like find each other and make little meeting rooms and like talk or whatever before and after the convention. So if you Discord people like want to go find each other, that would make me really proud if I could get all of my Ask Me About K-pop listeners like, you know, joining and participating and like making me proud.
Participants can make their own little meeting rooms like in between the events also. So like you said, if you wanted to like get together and play like a game or something, or maybe even we might be able to set up a little Discord meetup. Stay tuned.
But yeah, there's cool stuff
because there's lots of fun stuff happening. And we also have 2 free tickets to give away.
So we'll have to think up what we need,
because we're going to figure out how we're going to give those away. And they're a hot commodity, so get ready.
Get ready. It's going to be fun. So to look out for info on that or info about us anywhere else, we can be found on social media at AMA K-pop Pod on Twitter and Instagram. Linktree/AMA K-pop Pod has the links to our Discord, our Spotify, our YouTube, all of those things. But we are Ask Me About K-pop, AMA K-pop Pod, everywhere you can be. If you want to send us a voice, you can leave us a voicemail, 181 AMA K-pop 5. You can send us a letter to P.O. Box 26096.
Los Angeles, California, 90026.
Yeah. And you can send us things there because we're very official. I just have to like brag on us and say that we got a Monsta X press release yesterday and it made my day.
Yeah, because we're press. We're important, influential voices in the K-pop scene. What?
So in case anybody...
Looks like we made it!
Yeah, also we can send this straight to the PR company because we talked about the album, which is exactly what they sent it to us for. So hello,
You're
we
welcome.
did it.
Check out Monsta X's Fatal Masculinity in their newest release, One of a Kind.
See? Professionals. That's what you're getting here.
Also, for some less professional content, sign up for our Patreon. We do a lot of fun stuff, including this month we did, or I should say last month, for May, we did our very first supplemental video deep dive where we went through a chronological viewing of Taemin's music video discography to go along with our Taemin deep dive from last week. So for as low as $3 a month, you can get that and more on patreon.com/AMA K-pop Pod.
Yeah, it's really fun. I just did I made it really easy. We like screen recorded the video and laid the audio over it. You don't have to do any work. I'm not making you queue up a playlist or nothing.
Yeah, you don't have to find a sketchy link. You just have to click play. And if you listen to it with headphones on, it sounds like we're sitting on either side of you.
I know. I used my fancy Zoom recorder, so it's like 3D experience, and it sounds like you're sitting there with us. So please check that out. I'm proud of how it turned out. And like she said, we have a ton of other great content because we've been doing Patreon for 11 months now.
Almost a whole year. It's coming up. It's almost time for us to do another stage outfit spotlight.
Yeah. And I think maybe Monsta X Gambler is going to win.
I mean, that would be perfect since they're the ones who started us off.
I mean, come on.
It'll come full circle.
We love full circles and tradition on this podcast.
Fantasia!
All right. Well, thank you for stopping by. And go share your favorite K-pop summer memories in the Discord episode discussion channel. And we'll see you guys next week. Goodbye.
Bye.
Jonghyun, you're our inspiration.